Hey all, welcome to the next episode on Sharmila Talkies. Today, I will be talking to Swathi Jagannath, who's a technology expert, life coach, and also a fitness enthusiast, and has about 17 and a half years of experience in the IT industry. Let's go ahead and get started. Swathi, very good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sharmila. Good afternoon. I'm great. How are you?
I am doing good too. Thank you. Swathi, since we had a brief discussion about this talk show, we could, quickly get started about a quick introduction about yourself, and then we can take it forward.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, a quick introduction about myself. I'm Swathi, originally from Mysore, but I've been in Bangalore for my career journey, and it started around, precisely, I should say, around 17 and a half years ago. So more a Bangalorean now. Also, I would say that I'm a proud mom. I have a daughter who is 10 and a half years old. And coming to my professional journey, I'm currently working as a group manager as part of Signify, which was erstwhile Philips Lighting. And I take care of complete quality, that is test and automation team. I head test and automation team for outdoor lighting.
Okay, perfect. Great. That was a very short and crisp introduction. Thank you for that. Right. So, Swathi, let's go ahead and get started with your career journey. Being in the industry for about 17 and a half years, right? That's almost close to 2 decades. If you could talk about your career journey, what challenges have you faced? And definitely it shows that you've overcome those challenges. That is why you are where you are today. If you could talk about that.
Yeah, sure. I started my journey in 2004, started with just 1 second. I just want to pause 1 second. Yeah. I started my journey in 2004 and started with Harita InfoServe, which was TVS Electronics earlier. I just started with my internship there. And it was, new introduction to the industry. It was good, just an year of experience. But suddenly there was a merger. That's when it all started. I never knew how IT career is all about. And that's when I really, gotten into the race, I must say. So then I just applied, to other jobs, and I was with Bose for six months. That is the Bose speakers. So it was a very prestigious organization, and there again, it was a very different experience. Of course, via Harita InfoServe, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the industry, about what exactly I had read. I'm basically from electronics background. I've done bachelor's in electronics and communication, so that I was able to correlate in my first organization. But that also gave me, the pros and cons of what exactly we are, how exactly we are totally independent, no more, driven by lecturers, etc., and other things. And when I stepped into Bose Technologies, it was a very different feeling. I had a very good mentor there. But again, it was a very short stint of 6 months, because I think they decided to wind up the R&D division in Bangalore. And we were just around 20 people in Bangalore. So that again taught me, how transient or how volatile the industry is. So there, for some time, again, that was a period of recession. Recession was slowly kicking in, and for some time I did have to hunt for my job there. So after that, again, I started applying through different job portals, and through one of the consultants, I got hired to Philips. Philips Semiconductors. So, but there again, it was a very good experience. Very good. It was a huge team. I learned quite a lot about high definition TVs, etc. So, if you see, at least the last two organizations which I spoke about, it started with mostly electronics based, audio based. Bose, we know it's completely speaker. So the complete technology, it was a very different technology. Now again moved to again a different stream, though it is audio video. It was more into high definition TV. So one good part was I was learning different technologies. I was trying to. It taught me to become more volatile or maybe more open to whatever I was into, maybe what projects I was getting into. So that made me a bit more volatile, or maybe step out of my comfort zone, just to absorb whatever it is, because every organization you join, you need to prove. So until then, your seniors and the entire organization will not totally get to know your worth. Yeah, so that the proving in every organization also be, that is one important point which I learned. So next, I was there with respect to Philips, that is via cyber, for around 2.5 years. But later, I think I decided technologies. So there again, it was a very different early bird product which I was working on. I was leading a team there. I got an opportunity to lead a team, and it was a different culture. Again, it was a proper Korean culture. So again, I was since the last few organizations, I have changed. I have seen the different cultures also: European culture, Indian culture, US culture. I think all of these cultures I have touched upon. So this was Korean culture, which is very strong. I think they are super hardworking people. So that's where I think that again got imbibed in me. But again, I should say it was a very short stint of 1 year, because they just wound up and they wanted to, the entire organization went back to China. So, and I could not pursue that further. There again, it was a core recession which hit almost for 6 months. I was out of job. But then parallelly, I had taken up my symbiosis. I was doing a PGD IT course. I had a couple of papers to finish. So that's where I utilized those 6 months to finish. So essentially, more than the degree part, I wanted to really get to know, about different aspects of an organization, or maybe different streams in an organization. What is the HR? What function does a HR do? What function does finance play in any organization? So because I had different papers, though I did not get a complete practical knowledge, but you learn practically, you learn theoretically. Learning is always the learning, right? So it will never get wasted. That's what I very strongly believe. Even if it's a very small piece, it might not be useful for you today, but it will for sure be useful for you in your coming journey or upcoming life anywhere. So post that, I got into a set-top box based organization, which was called NDS, and later it was taken over by Cisco. So there, I think I had a solid stint of around 4.5 to 5 years there, wherein I learned a lot about set-top boxes and a lot of other technologies. I got very good projects. I had good managers to work with, and a good opportunity for travel, and got to know about different, how exactly the customers, or maybe more from the customer interaction side, because until now I was more a fresher, I can say, and now I was slowly stepping into my mid, a bit more experienced, part of my career, right? So there it was really going good. Of course, not to miss, I did have fun with my team. That was we should not miss out the fun part. Life should not become very serious. So it was good. So, but post that again, as part of Cisco, once Cisco took over, there were massive layoffs. So complete division, a couple of divisions were planned, and business decisions has to be taken. So that becomes a norm. So by now, I had gotten to know, what is a layoff, what is recession, what is winding up, what is a merger, what is winding up. I think this just happened in less than 9 years of my career. So I think it was really painful. I have, I think, broken down many times. My family was there to totally support me at that time. A couple of friends were there. So I had become a little more stable, I can say, by then. Then post that, I got into a completely different domain, that is the networking domain. So again, to add up to it, I had already touched upon multiple domains. So this volatile, or this, I think, being very versatile, being with coming with varied experiences, I think getting a job was not a very big deal for me by this time. So this was around post 13 years of my career, 12 to 13 years of my career. So I went into networking domain. It was good. Again, there was the entire unit was shut down and it was taken over. But I moved to Cisco. I was also one of the chosen persons to move to Cisco systems. So actually, and I don't know, I totally believe in the law of attraction. So Cisco was always on my top of my list, as part of my dream companies. So and that too not as part of a merger, but as part of the proper Cisco systems. So finally, I ended up there. I got and I worked with a very challenging, or maybe on a very challenging product, and the team was also very good. But of course, very exhausting. We used to, I think that the entire team used to log quite a lot of number of hours as part of the work. But of course, learning, there was a lot of learning there. But because of, so this was, I in this, in the meanwhile, I parallelly, I'm more of a creative person. So for me, doing things continuously on an everyday basis in a very disciplined manner, that was never a problem for me, because from childhood, my parents used to send me to various different classes, etc., so that the discipline kicks in. I think it's not, my parents thought that was one of the good ways, like all other parents do. So yeah, but I was kind of a disciplined kid. Maybe that added up here, and more on the creative side. So I used to, I have taken up some of my drawing exams, and I have won a couple of competitions there. So I was into music, I was into Sanskrit. So multiple things, more on the creative side. So restricting me at one point for any person will be little difficult. So I just want my ideas to just flow, and there should be people to give me space for me to think. So that's where I had a couple of ideas, and I think one of my, I just happened to visit a link with respect to IIM Bangalore, wherein they run an entrepreneurial program, women-only program. So that's called the MOOC program, which is run by NSRCL. So there we had to submit a couple of ideas, and this entrepreneurial streak was kind of going on in me. I already had decided to, develop an app with respect to mental harassment. So this was one of the ideas actually, which was chosen by IIM, and I was one of the, one among around 3,000 women across India. 250 were selected, and among the 10 in Bangalore, I was also one of them who was selected for this program. So 6 months, we had the luxury, or maybe again that was one of my dream, because since childhood I always wanted to study in these very reputed institutes, Indian institutes. So, but my mother, on a I wouldn't say on a negative side, but she always used to say, I think we have to, just make sure that, okay, you have to chew as much as possible, right? You cannot take up everything, and you cannot run the show. So I the chance life gives, and how exactly I was part of this program. I was exposed to lot of professors from different streams, lot of guest professors. So for around 6 months, and I was not working then. As I told, I was out of Cisco, so I had the luxury to mingle with other entrepreneurs. I met many females, many women entrepreneurs who are super duper powerful. I then that actually that really struck me that. What if my problem is nothing? There were people with various different, women who came with a lot of baggage, but for them, nothing. There was nothing deterred them to move forward. Some of them had their actually, which was running very successfully by them, and we used to listen to their stories, and it was really spine chilling. So I think hats off to all the professors over there, and all the my colleagues, cohorts over there, to give me a very different perspective of life, I should say. Though I pursued my entrepreneurial journey or not, but I took away a really once you enter into this entrepreneurial journey, right, you wouldn't want to come back to corporate, because it's a very different ball game altogether. So I thought a lot, but again, I thought, when I got a call from my current organization, that's Philips Lighting. So I thought, let me just give a short there. So I was interviewed there again, and then I've been with Signify, it's called Signify now, but it was Philips Lighting.
Okay.
So that's about. So essentially, summing up, I think one thing I would like to say is, you should really love what you do, but not to get into a comfort zone. So for me, now change is my change is very comfortable for me, be it in career or be it in personal life.
Okay. Very, very nice to hear your journey, Swathi. I think the various number of industries, or I wouldn't say industries, number of fields that you have changed and explored. Initially that you started with electronic, because that was basically your background. Not many people get that chance, because you've done your engineering in a particular field. Finally, you get into IT. You're totally into computer science, basically, and all of that, right? Coding and all. So since you got that opportunity, but not getting bogged down with a number of, like what you said, it's nothing under your control. It's recession, mergers, winding up, shutdown, whatever other things, I think it does take a lot for anybody to kind of go through this and make it happen, right? And it's not an easy thing, right? And that you were also able to go ahead and explore your other areas of interest, which is like music and drawing. You did say, I don't know, you had a graduation in drawing and so on, right? And also Sanskrit. And you also figured out, you still went ahead and did your IIM course on entrepreneurship. Like what you said, whether you took that off or not, go ahead and putting that effort and doing that studies and learning from that itself is a big thing. And being one of the very few women among 3,000 people is definitely win. Right? So I think that is how it's related to you being a life coach. Does any of your experiences kind of pushed, I wouldn't say pushed, was it like a starter or a trigger for you to become a life coach? That's a total switch from what you've been doing in various fields, to how did that happen, and how are you doing in that area?
Yeah, I think one thing I should say is I should really thank my family. who has given, allowed me to grow. This includes not only my parents, but my husband, my kid who is 10 and a half. She's one of my total teacher. I can say she's a total supporter of mine, and of course my in-laws, my mother-in-law also, along with my mother, play. My two strong moms actually play a very significant role in my life. Both my mother and mother-in-law, they've been working women, independent women, and I have seen them, how exactly they have struggled, how exactly they have come up, and so that is one of I always think about that. And my mother, very clearly, she has always wanted me, and I have a sibling, so both of us to be very independent, irrespective of whatever kind of whether get married, whether we have a very understanding spouse or not, or whatever. We should women being independent is very crucial in, I think that runs in my family. So and money follows. So first comes passion. So I cannot, we cannot really mix both of them. So coming to maybe answering your question, and to be more precise, so whatever all the learnings, whatever I have, over this journey. So of course, career, 16 to 17 years of learning, and what I have gone through, I have tried to utilize it. Or maybe for me, any feedback is always, I consider it as for the next. Today I receive a feedback, and tomorrow I make sure that it gets implemented in my life. So for me, learning is on an everyday basis, irrespective of whatever position you are in. And until I think I am alive, I really want to keep on learning. Learning is my key.
Okay.
Yeah, with respect to so once, and with respect to the knowledge gaining, I read a lot. I read very number of different personality development books, and that's my genre. So I think my mother is a voracious reader, so that's how I think I have seen her reading. So I read on everyday basis, and I listen to a lot of gurus I have. I consider them as a couple of them online, couple of them offline. I just try to take all the good things. It may not be just with the experienced people, but even with respect to small kids, even with respect to my team. I have a big team, so even with respect to each member in my team, or maybe my seniors, my co-workers. So there are on an everyday basis, I think learning, that will form more than 50%. 50% of our time can be utilized in the learning, how exactly they are thinking, how exactly what is that which is my weakness, and what exactly I can improve. So one, because if I am not full, then I cannot really do a kind of, I can never be a coach to other people, right? So that's where I over the time, with respect to my profile, with respect to how I speak, how I have shaped up. So this this started, I think, quite some years back. I never knew that I can do some bit of career counseling also offline. I think not only me, like me, a lot of people might do it. So that gave an opportunity. When people reach out to me, I just call them up and then say, how exactly, what is that which they can do in whichever point of career they are in, and just help them to be more positive, and just make sure that nothing is end of the world, right? You always have opportunities to grow. Yeah, so that is with respect to the career counseling. But apart from that, a lot of I started with my friends, but apart from that, I can build networks like anything. So I don't know, that I'm more a people person. So I reach out, a lot of people reach out to me, and even I reach out to a lot of people. So that's how, through word of mouth, people reach out to me with respect to their personal stuff, maybe relationships, maybe any kind of counseling. I do. I have, and with respect to, I've just done one of the certifications also on one of the websites. with respect to life coach, being a life coach. So I just have an online certificate, but I'm building more upon it. It's not the end of the world again. There's lots more to do, and my knowledge, or maybe whatever I am learning on everyday basis, I just want to dissipate as much as possible.
Yeah, awesome, Swathi. I know I just see so much of diverse interests that you have, and you're also successful in every areas that you have that you have taken up, right? And I think, career counseling is not an easy thing, and from there going ahead and helping people with issues as well. And it's not an easy task, given that you already have your life to run on a daily basis, right? It's so much of work. And at a point in your career, though you keep growing up the ladder, it's more responsibility, it's more accountability, and you have a family, you have various interests, like what you've mentioned, and you're doing this. It's like, I think the way I kind of look at it is giving back to the community, and not it's just about yourself that, I'm self-sufficient and growing on. I think that's a very key point that that's a takeaway, at least for me personally, from this, right? So one last question would be, Swathi, before we kind of wind up for the day, is, what is one major secret that kind of keeps you active and cheerful on any given day, given that all you do throughout the day?
Yeah, as I told, I think, of course, like anybody, we are all human beings, that we shouldn't forget, right? So I do have my ups and downs. I do, go down, but yeah, through this learning, or maybe the self-learning, what I've been doing, maybe what my mentors have taught me, through my surroundings, what I have been learning, right? The amount of time, if you yourself are not capable, or maybe not very positive, or maybe you can pull up yourself and then move ahead, right? If you're not able to do that, then how can you help others? So that's where my time, or maybe initially I would take 6 hours or maybe a day, but now it's just reduced to half an hour. So, and that half an hour, how exactly to buzz up myself, to fight my inner demons, how I can fight, and how exactly I can brush off a couple of things, because now, see, certain things are under your control, certain things are not under your control. Certain things not under your control, you can just let go, and we do have solutions for everything, right? So solutions, maybe it might not be very precise, but we can think, or maybe suggest, or maybe take advice with respect to a couple of solutions. So nothing is the end of the world. That's what I would like to say there. And yeah, with respect to, and as I told, I take feedbacks very seriously. I try to imbibe it in myself, and then keep going on an everyday basis. So for me, every day is a new day. I don't, I'm just looking forward for the next day. And, it's just, I think in one of the movies, the Deers in the Ghee movie, which is, I think, which has a very good impact, with respect to many people, right? So it's like, yeah, come on, what is there for today? Like, what do you have? Come on, I'm ready to take up this challenge. So it may be anything. It might be your personal front. It may be, in your career. Apart from the regular day-to-day activities, that is, taking care of the house, trying to maintain the work-life balance, and of course, I have a handful even at work. I do like to do. I do write. I do write a lot. Writing is my passion. I have written quite a lot of articles on LinkedIn. It's available, and I do write daily motivation posters. I think I write it. I design posters for myself, and float it across. But although not everything is on public platform, but I just do it with a group of people around. It has helped a lot of people. I get very good reviews. So I think that also helps me, to stay motivated, because certain people are relying on me for certain activities, certain things. So and I am taking them forward. They are like more like my family. So if they are a bit down, or maybe if they really need support, so these kind of things, though I might not be able to talk to them directly, right? Not communicate them directly, but yes, these things for sure is helping me. Apart from, I think these are food for thoughts, and these are food for our mind and brain. But apart from that, with respect to the physical fitness, I'm a runner. I do attend quite a lot of, 10Ks for now, but I want to, expand it to, quite a lot, maybe for half marathons and full. But of course, I have a coach myself, and sports actually helps to set a goal and then be very much more disciplined. These which I do on regular basis, I'm able to help my team to, I think a couple of them have already started their fitness journey in my organization. So that also helps me. If I move forward, I think as a leader, people really, just it's not only about talking, right? It's about actions.
Agreed.
So I think the most important version of myself. So here, when I say that, no, there's no jealousy which kicks in, and there's no fear of competition. It's just learn, adapt, and adopt. So and this also, what has taught me, what the entire journey has taught me, is to be super flexible, to be strong, and smile come what may. Because I think there are quite a lot of people, when you have reached to this level, and when you are trying to prove yourself on everyday basis, right? There's if you just look back, there's one set of people who are already looking at you, and maybe uh, trying to, there are a couple of lot more junior folks, or maybe a lot of people who are looking at you or observing you. So when and if some of them are taking back of what exactly you're doing, then you should always be in the right path. So I'm a yardstick for myself, and just take whatever it is. And I think the last point is, when negativity kicks in, right? That grow up the ladder. I think, of course, mentally and physically also, we are becoming age, right? Age is, though we call it age, is just a number. I think the fitness, the fatigue, etc., rest of the things kick in. But for me, what I feel is negativity is the biggest, factor which pulls you down, both mentally, physically, and it totally drains you out. So when you keep all the negativity away, I think there's no tiredness, there's just positivity, and there's just smile. Of course, and if you know how to deal with the challenges, then I think that's all.
Wow. Swati, that's so much. Seriously, it's like, from your work to your passion about, in the different areas, to being a life coach, to being a runner, to your writing, to your motivational quotes, and like what you just said, you're super flexible at the day and the urge to learn daily. And what you most importantly said was smile come what may, right? And learn, adapt, and adopt. I think these are like real big takeaways. And I think these are things that, if from the conversation that we've had in the last few minutes, I think these are the big reasons that you have been able to kind of go through whatever your journey has been, right? Taken various roles and where you are today. So definitely, I think you are a great motivation for a lot of people, right? You are an example setter.
Thank you.
The one that you told about, you kind of go ahead, you are your own yardstick. You don't need anybody else to tell you, get up and do this. You're missing your timelines, or this is what you need to do. I think that's, most of them have somebody else to push them and get it done, be it professional life, be it your passion, be it certain things that you've started off or want to try something new. But being your own yardstick is just not an easy one. But hats off to you that you're doing it so well. It is definitely evident. And I think you definitely are a great example for everybody else as well. So I did have a few takeaways as well from this, Swathi. Thank you so much for your time on a weekend. And I'm glad we got connected, and I would love to always stay connected with you. Thank you so much again, Swathi.
Same here, Sharmila. Thank you so much. Maybe just a note of gratitude again from my side. A very big thank you to you. For hosting me. Thank you so much. And of course, I would not miss to thank couple more people around. First is Almighty, because I'm a very strong believer of that superpower. Then to my entire set of folks who are supporting in my career, my mentors, my family, and to all my friends. So I think gratitude, without gratitude, nothing runs. So starts from you and ends with respect to everybody. Thanks once again, Sharmila.
Awesome,
all the very best to you.
Great talking to you. It was definitely a great time. Thank you so much. You have a great
Thank you.
weekend. Thanks.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Hey all, so that was a great conversation with Swathi Jagannath. I do hope you have great takeaways from this conversation. I think it was very varied. Talks about how many ups and downs that she's faced in her career, but still didn't kind of let it go. And as nothing was under her control, the recessions, the winding up of the organizations that she was working with, the shutdowns, the mergers, which kind of gave her new challenges, and she was able to kind of overcome all of it, right? So the key takeaways, I think, is to learn, adapt, and adopt. Keep learning on a daily basis, right? And I think going ahead and saying, about pull up yourself first. That's when you can give energy and help others as well. And every day is a new day. And I think the most important two factors are smile come what may, and of course, gratitude plays a very important role in everybody's lives. Please do drop in your comments and follow my channel for more conversations and takeaways from industry leaders. Thank you.